Hey everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I am John Brown, and today I'm going to check out the new set of interfaces, the Discrete 4 and the Discrete 8 Synergy Core from Antelope Audio. So what exactly are the changes between the first version of the Discrete and the Synergy Core version of the Discrete? So they've added a DSP chip in to the interface, which means now bass players and guitar players, please rejoice. You can now use their guitar profiles and bass profiles with near zero latency. And that was always the problem for me when it came to using software simulations of guitar amps on the computer. Unless you were using Pro Tools, there was no real way to monitor it without zero latency. The fact that I can never truly feel what the amp sim feels like to play through just because of the latency. So with the Discrete 4 and the Discrete 8, you can connect it via Thunderbolt or USB 2.0. So you can use it on a Mac or a PC. Or if you're lucky enough to have a modern enough PC, then you can also use it with Thunderbolt as opposed to the USB 2.0, which obviously is much faster connectivity. With the Discrete 4, you have 4 preamps, 2 on the front, 2 on the back. And with the Discrete 8, you have 2 on the front and another 6 on the back. The inputs on the front, you can select between 3 different inputs. You can either have high Z, so you can connect it to a string instrument like a guitar or a bass, or you can select between mic and line. And the preamps on the back, you can select between mic or line. On the Discrete 4, you have 4 line outs, 2 monitor outs, ADAT in and out, SB-diff in and out, and also word clock inputs and outputs. With the Discrete 8, it puts the line out to a DB25 connector, has an extra set of jack outs for reamping, or you can select it for another set of studio monitors, has word clock in and out, double the amount of ADAT in and out, SB-diff in and out. With the Discrete 4, it has 4 headphone outs on the front, which are easily selectable by the control panel. And on the Discrete 8, you have 2, which have their own dedicated volume control. With the Discrete 8, you also have a wonderful talkback feature. And you press the red button here and it selects the talkback microphone. So in this video, I really wanted to see what kind of guitar tone I could get from the inbuilt modeling. And I had a little play around before I did this video, and I've got a guitar tone that I'm actually pretty happy with. And it obviously feels great because of the near zero latency. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to record a riff on guitar, get a bass tone that I like, add the drums, and see what you guys think. This is my guitar tone. As you can see, there's quite a lot of plugins on it. And it's just because it's normally what you do anyway. Right? So, obviously there's no inbuilt compressor. Sorry, there's no inbuilt tube screamer. So instead of that, I've used the Stay 11, which is just touching it. Just mainly to add a little bit of volume. It added quite a bit of noise to the signal, so then I put the gate in there. I've got a little bit of pre-EQ before the amp here. Cutting the lower mids and boosting the higher mids. And a little bit of volume boost. Got the guitar amp here, which is based on a Mesa Boogie dual rectifier, I would guess. With the gain fairly high. The cabinet emulation is one they have called Modern. And this is actually, the rest of it was part of one of their presets that they had in here. And I just sort of added to it. But yeah, there's 2 EQs there. Boosting 1.5 a little bit and boosting 500 a little bit, I think. Yep. Attenuating the bottom end and attenuating and boosting 5 kilohertz. And then obviously a compressor just at the end, just touching it. And then you get something like this. Just so you know, this is all being recorded through the Zoom H6 recorder directly from my monitor controller, just so that you can hear in real time what's going on. So yeah, the riff that I have that I'm just going to record down is... As you can tell, I've not completely worked out where the loop goes. When I get the drums down, that will help me with that. I've also got some chords that I'm going to put in there as well. So that's my guitar sound. It sounds pretty good to my ears. Obviously, a little bit of EQ will probably happen when I go in the door. So then I could probably take back to that sound and then try and fix it with what's going on around it. Obviously, you know, a great guitar tone by itself is fine, but obviously it's how it shapes around the drums, the bass, the vocals, and everything else in your mix. I'm just making sure that I'm recording on here. Am I recording? I am recording, so that's perfect. And I just didn't speak to myself for the last 5 minutes for no reason. Anyway, yeah, so I've got the tempo, I think. What happens? So it's not quite right, but it's right enough. Just have some EQ turned on in the group that I'm just going to have to turn off. Also, you guys are hearing it with my Sonarworks plugin connected, so it might sound a little bit weird on your side. I'm going to turn that off now so you can hear it. So yeah, I'm just going to do it with that on so I know exactly what's going on in the room. Okay, right, let's just program some drums around that. And then I'll get the actual phrasing right once I've done it. What I'll do now for rough drums, just need to put in some cymbals. Obviously I need to play it better. It's kind of anti-groove, isn't it? This riff. Obviously, it's not completely right. I actually think it might be a little bit slow. Right, let's get it. Alright, let's try the other side. shall we see what it's like? I think we increased the volume of this one, so I'm just going to increase the one the same amount. So we're at 2.9. 2.9. Sounds a little bit choked in the top end from a previous EQ, so I'm just going to go and have a look at that and see what I can do. The real difference is going to be when we add the bass in, so that's what I'm going to do now. So we've got drums. There's no bass ones. Well, let's just change this then. So we got cabinet here. Got any more bass cabinets to choose from? Well, it sounds like a bass, doesn't it? So that's good. Let's turn this mid-range up. Let's try. sounds really, really good. Disclaimer, I'm not a bass player. So you bass players out there, don't be too offended by me playing with a pick as hard as I can. Right. Let's add a little bit of EQ in there, shall we? What have we got here then? Huh? Cool. Yeah, there's a woodiness. I just need to get rid of it. Yeah, maybe a little bit of pick attack at 2. Let's just see what that sounds like. I mean, it sounds pretty good to my ears from here. So it's just in 2. Now how do I play this riff again? Something like that, isn't it? Let's just add another 160. Why the fuck not? A couple of little things in the guitars that I could probably clean up. I didn't hear until I put it into... Just me those. Put it into the DAW. bass tone sounds great. The only thing I've got going on there is the limit of the DPX 160 and a little roll off up to 29, let's say. It sounds great. I'm just going to turn off a bunch of these ones. I'm just going to try kind of a little bit of the mids. That. And now to turn it off for you guys to hear it without my Sonarworks turned on. All right, sounds pretty good to my ears. What I'll do is I'll export this and then you can play it at the end of this video. So there you have it, the Discrete 4 and 8 from Antelope Audio with the new Synergy Core technology. I think it sounds great. Tons of options, would be a great centerpiece of any studio. It sounds good, the DI is sounding good. Obviously you heard the bass just then when it was going directly into the sound card. Even with my old ass strings, it still sounded good. So I guess the next test for the next video is, what does it sound like with a mic'd up guitar amplifier? So I'm going to compare the Discrete 4 preamps with the preamps from my Audient ASP A80 going into the Orion 32 Plus Gen 3. And let's just see how close it really is. So without further ado, check it out for yourselves. So the only real evolution that I can see happening from here is, now that we have DSP chips in the front end so that there's almost zero latency for playing through amp emulations, it'd be a great thing to see when a company can come forth and make it possible so you can load third-party guitar sim software. So that means that you could run the Helix native program directly in the front. That'd be pretty awesome. In the meantime, thank you very, very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please subscribe. Please also check out riffhard.com if you haven't. It's a really great learning tool for anyone that wants to become great at rhythm guitar. And it's also going to improve a lot of other aspects of your playing. So see you guys in the next video. And I'm going to be running the Laboga Mr. Hector into this Discrete 4 to see what it sounds like. Peace.